What's up, fight fans? This Saturday in the UFC's main event, we got a very, very, very special matchup. But before we get into it, guys, don't forget to like and subscribe to help support the channel. I love you guys, love the fans, and I wouldn't be able to be here without you guys. So please don't forget to like and subscribe to continue getting more content. All right, getting right into it. This Saturday in our main event, June 18th, UFC, we're in the featherweight division. We got Calvin Kattar taking on Josh Emmett. Super exciting matchup. Josh Emmett's finally getting his top five fight. And you got Calvin Kattar, who is now back on the winning side with his win over Giga Chikadze after that dominant loss to Max Holloway a couple years ago. It's very excited to see him. So he's trying to get back into his own win streak. You got Josh Emmett, who's on his own 4-fight win streak. Starting first, I'm going to go with Calvin Kattar, right? Like where he's at right now, where he's been 33, 34 years old. He's 1-1 in his last two, but he really erased that loss with that very dominant win over Giga Chikadze, right? Like he was able to negate everything that Giga had to offer in his game. Giga needs to fight a kickboxing style fight and fight his fight, keep the distance, and be able to piece guys up. And Calvin said, "Fuck that shit. We're gonna fight in a phone booth. You're gonna fight my fight." And that's exactly what happened. And he dominated Giga pretty much start to finish. Giga did look good early on. He showed his power, but Calvin really showed his experience as an MMA fighter and in the octagon. And Giga kind of just he didn't have a plan B. Once his plan A didn't work, he just continued with that, and he just got beat up for 25 minutes. And like he showed a lot of heart. He was still in it, but like he just couldn't. He just couldn't get it done. And Calvin showed that he was the superior fighter that night. And it was a very, very, very impressive win by Calvin Kattar. He's got the win over Dan Ige, Jeremy Stevens knockout. Calvin's been able to have a very, very, very solid resume within the UFC, and the only times that he's been outclassed is Max Holloway. He lost to Zabit, but that was a main event that should have been 5 rounds, and if that was another 2 rounds, you could have easily seen Calvin Kattar taking the W home in Russia. Like, he was putting it on Zabit in that 3rd round. He had that loss to Renato Moicano. And moving forward, right, like, Calvin's that fucking dude. He's that guy who's number 5. He's right there with Yair Rodriguez, Max Holloway, Volkanovski. He's right there with Korean Zombie. And I really see him getting the victory over Josh Emmett, right? You have a guy in Josh Emmett, too, 37 years old, still in his prime, right? He has that style where, like, as he gets older, it's not really going to be to his detriment. He's got the power. He's got that one-touch power. He's got the wrestling. And in his 4-fight win, now, okay, his win over Dan Ige is suspect. I personally thought Dan Ige won the fight, but, the judges saw it differently. It was a close matchup. It was a very close fight, so I wouldn't really call it a robbery. But, on the resume, it shows Josh Emmett has the W. So right now, that dude is riding a 4-fight win streak. Super exciting to see what he gets in his first real shot at the top 5 guy. He fought Jeremy Stevens back in the day, and it really fucked him up. He basically lost his eye almost, and he didn't fight for, I think almost 2 years. It was like a year and a half. And I think when he came back too, a lot of people thought he was rushing it. His family thought he was rushing it, but he's like, yeah, I'm a fighter. This is what I do, and he went out there and took out Michael Johnson. He put Michael Johnson's lights out in a fight that he was losing, and he was just able to bam, and that was it. It was over. And that fight that he had against Ricardo Lamas, which was the first fight I had ever seen him in, man, he put Ricardo's lights out. So he does have that ability to be able to touch you and be able to put your lights out, so to speak, for lack of a better word, I guess. But he's going against Calvin Kattar, who has proven to have a good chin. I don't think he's been KO'd before. He can take a beating. And this is where I think Calvin's superior boxing, his superior, his arsenal, his tool set. He's got a bigger tool set than Josh does. And I think that he's going to be able to utilize his movement, utilize the distance, be able to pick Josh apart for the 5 rounds. I don't think it's going to go the 5 rounds. I think that Calvin's going to be able to put Josh away, but who knows, you know what I mean? Josh does have that power to be able to stop Calvin and maybe hurt him early and then be able to maybe fight his own game. But I don't think Calvin's going to go away easy. I think that he's going to be able to utilize his footwork. He is a little bit younger. I think he's taller, longer, tall, long, and lanky. He's going to be able to put it all together, I think, against Josh next Saturday. And I'm very excited to see this matchup. I think this is a next step forward with a win. I think Calvin is going to be able to step up against a guy like Brian Ortega, maybe even Korean Zombie. I think they're booked right now. Yair Rodriguez. I mean, there's a whole lot of things that could happen right now. If Calvin doesn't get hurt, if he gets a big win, maybe he can sit out for 6 to 8 months and maybe see how the division plays out. Because, man, with a big win, Calvin Kattar can set himself up right with the number one contenders match. Depending on what happens with Holloway and Volk 3, which is coming up too right after that. I mean, there's a whole lot of implications going on in this featherweight division, and it's going to definitely start playing out with this main event matchup, guys. So tell me what you guys think in the comment section, guys. Do you think Josh Emmett's going to take it? Do you guys think that Calvin Kattar's going to take it? I really love to hear your guys' input. And guys, don't forget to like and subscribe, hit that little bell button so you get notifications on my future predictions and breakdowns. Thank you guys. Mr. Mustache MMA News out. Let's fucking go, fight fans.